Static menus can also be called an always available menu or a restaurant style menu. It's just the menus that you can create and offer it as an alternative for your residents. And you'll notice in the middle it's just a blank piece of paper and you can create it. To the left are the things that will manipulate this menu. There's three words. There's settings, structure, and recipe. Right now settings is underlined and we're going to come back to that in a minute, but we're going to click on structure. And structure is where you create your menu. Now if you are a location that have seasonal menus that you manually change from season to season, for instance, my Grove Menus one that I'm on right now could be a fall-winter cycle. And then I have my spring-summer, which would be Grove Menus 2, and I can switch back and forth at my discretion. But if I've created a static menu for Grove Menus 2 and I want to import it, I can just click on this import button and it'll import what I've done there. So you don't have to recreate it. Now if you do not do manually change seasons and it's just automatic for you, you don't have to worry about that and you won't even see this button. But to create your menu, you click on Add Menu. And there's two words here. There's Menu 1, which is the name of the menu, and we're going to call this an always available menu. And then we can put the second part here is categories, and you don't have to have categories. What we're going to do maybe a category called entrees. And then I start selecting recipes that I want to put under it. And so I can type, I could type in steak, and it'll just search the database and pull up all the recipes, and we can pick one. And then I can click on this little plus sign next to the category and add another one. We could call this some shrimp. And you just keep on adding item after item, as many as you want. And if you don't want a particular thing, you can just delete it. Now you also can add descriptions. I could say this is yummy, and this is very yummy. And you'll notice to the right it's starting to build it for me. I could add another category for my always available. Maybe this one I'm going to do, you click on this button right here where it says always. Add a category. This one I'm going to call sides. And we're going to select cottage cheese. And I can add as many sides as I want by just keep on adding in as I choose. And you can also move these around. If I want my entree category to be above my sides, I just drag and drop. And I also can take a recipe and drag and drop within there and get it the order you want. I can add another menu. Maybe I want to do a breakfast menu. And you can do as many as you want. So this is our breakfast. And I'm not going to do a category, so I'm just going to turn this little label off so it doesn't show up. And I'm going to pick, let's pick some eggs. And I can add another one. And I can type in waffles or whatever I want. Again, this is no category. We're just going to have everything in a breakfast, and you can list as many items as you want. And then once you get completed, I can go over and click on the recipe tab here. And here are my recipes. And if I want to print them, I can just put a check mark next to them. But I do need to tell it how I want that recipe to scale. So maybe I think 4 people are going to do this and 5 people are going to do this. And then I can click on print selected recipes. It'll open up the recipe and it'll scale this one to 5 and this one to 4 or whatever you tell it. And then you can print that. Once you have your structure done, I've printed the recipes I want, I can go now to my settings. Now settings is to change the format, and I want you to go look at the daily menu tutorial. It'll go into details how to manipulate it. So I'm not going to go over that now, but what I do want to show you is a preset, because this is where you can change your menu, your formatting, and maybe copy the same type of format that you did on your daily menu so it matches. So perhaps I have one called My Favorite, and I can just switch the template. And if My Favorite was on the daily menu side, it'll make it look exactly like the other one as far as the formatting. Now I can use a different one here. I'm going to do a single page. No, we want to do a split page because I have two menus. I have a breakfast menu. So here's my breakfast menu and here's my always available menu. So anyway, you can play with that formatting, but one important thing to note, again, you can save your presets and make your daily menu match your static menu so the formatting looks the same. Okay, the last thing I want to go over are your production numbers. If you want your static menus to go on your shopping list, you need to go to your settings tab and you need to click on this little button right here that says use daily static menu numbers on shopping list, and then click on save. And then you're going to go over to your production sheet, and you'll notice at the bottom here, here's my static menu that I've just created. And I can forecast what I think is going to happen. And I'm going to put 4 here, and we'll put 7 here. When I do this, it'll add it to my shopping list. If you leave it at 0, it just won't add it to your shopping list. Now, we do have an alternate production sheet. We call this a forecast production sheet. Some of you might have this, so I want to show you what it looks like. And when we switch back to production sheet, I've changed it to this this forecast production sheet. This one, you can watch the tutorial on this one. It's a little bit different. But what I want to point out is your always available menu and your static menu here that we've done. And you can forecast here. You do not need to worry about turning this check mark on. Notice there's no check mark here because we're using the forecast one. If we're using the original one, you need to check mark it. So that's your static menus. And just let us know if you have any questions.